I remember when I was looking at this picture, I realized that the girl on there looked really beautiful. And I kept staring at the picture until all of a sudden, a girl ended up tapping me on the shoulder saying, oh, like, do you like that photo? Yeah, it looks really good. And when I turned around to see who I was talking to, I realized it was the woman in the picture that was a model. Yo, what is going on, you guys? My name is Bubba, and welcome back to another insane, but I gotta say crazy story. So this story all takes place back when I was in high school, and this was actually my grade 12 year. I was 18 around this time since I have an early birthday, and I was still in high school. And I remember in my grade 12 year, I decided to take a class called art. Now, the only reason I took art class back when I was in high school, and especially for my final year, was because I just needed some extra credits, and I thought, hey, it can't be that hard to paint a picture. When in reality, it really was. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I am terrible at drawing, and I am no good at doing anything with my hands other than the devil's tango. Sorry, that sounded really bad, but you guys know what I mean. But I remember going into art class one day, my grade 12 year, and as I walked inside, I remember our teacher was handing out forms. And these forms were like a field trip forms because apparently there was an art gallery opening up at a local museum, and basically our teacher wanted us to go as like one of our like assignments to like basically capture a new eye for art. I don't really know what that means, to be honest. Once again, I am not an artist whatsoever. I just make dumb videos about me getting laid. So you guys kind of get the gist. So I remember when she was handing out these forms, everyone in the class got excited because, well, anything to do with getting out of school makes everyone excited. Hell, even I was excited, even though I really did not know anything. And as I went home and I ended up getting the art form filled out for the field trip, days ended up passing, and the day of the field trip was honestly funny because I remember our teacher was like really excited and like telling us how like we should like watch out for brush strokes and like how like, you know, when we look at paintings, don't touch them because they're gonna be like very delicate and very rare paintings. But I'm gonna be honest, me and my class really did not care. And finally, when we finally got to the art museum, once we walked in, the look on my teacher's face got upset. And you guys are probably wondering why and like what did we do? It wasn't anything to do with us students. It had to do with the artwork because the artwork was all well, it was art technically, but it was more photography, and the photos on the wall were all just a bunch of different models. So my teacher ended up basically calling all of us together, and instead of leaving, she says, okay class, so right now I want you guys to choose out a model in one of these photos and you're gonna paint them back at the school. At that moment, I remember a lot of students were annoyed because let's be honest, drawing humans is like one of the most difficult things ever. Like the only time I can actually draw a person is like the way like Jeff Keeney does in Die of a Wimpy Kid. Like I draw like that, okay? I still draw stick figures sometimes. But the fact that she wanted me to draw like a full-on person was honestly mind-boggling. But anyways, I remember me and my class, we ended up walking around the art gallery, or I guess the model photo shoot gallery, whatever it is. And as we were walking around, I ended up seeing one photo that really caught my eye. This photo was of a redhead that looked really, really good, and she had all her clothes on, she had a nice pair of cherries, and she was really attractive. I remember I just ended up staring at that photo for like a decent like 10 minutes. I'm not gonna lie. And I also did take a photo of it because there was no way I was gonna try to remember what she looked like and draw it back at the school. But right as I took a photo, I remember there was a girl that ended up coming up behind me, and she says, oh, like, do you like this picture? Yeah, no, like the girl looks stunning in it. She's like a 10 out of 10. Oh, really? I don't know. I think like she could do a little bit better. What? Are you serious? And as I turned around, I saw that the photo of the girl on the wall was the girl that was talking to me. At that moment, I looked back and forth from the picture to her, and then like I looked at her and said, wait, aren't you like the girl in the photo? What? Oh no, that's not me. Oh, okay, my bad. I'm sorry, you guys look hella alike. Oh no, I'm joking. Yeah, it is actually me. I'm a model. Oh, that's awesome. How long did it take for them to get this shot of you? To be honest, I don't really remember. The photo shoot was like hours. Oh, okay, that's insane. Yeah, so like what about you? Did you come in with like all those students from that high school? Them? No, I didn't walk in with them. I just saw that they were in the way. Oh, okay, that's good. I thought, you know, you were gonna be way too young. Now, before anyone says anything, yes, I did technically lie to this girl about, you know, being with the students, but at the same time, like, I was 18, I was an adult, like, I was legal age, and I didn't want her to think I was way younger than I'm supposed to be, because people in my class were also, like, still, like, 16 to 17 and 18, so I didn't want to, like, make it weird between me and her as we were having this conversation, because even though this girl, she was majorly attractive, she was definitely on the older side of things. Like, I'm talking, like, 26, 27, maybe even 28, honestly. But anyways, me and her continued talking in front of her photo, and out of nowhere, one of my friends that were in my class ended up walking up to me. He walks up to me and says, yo, Bubba, I didn't know you were scouting around at the museum. What do you mean, bro? I'm not. Anyways, we gotta go back to the teacher soon. The teacher? Oh, I don't know what he's talking about. And then that's when I ended up looking at him and I ended up opening my eyes wide to kind of like give him the signal to go away. I'm trying to riz a baddie. And he got the message luckily. So he ended up walking away, pretending he didn't say anything. At that moment, this girl ends up looking at me, really questioning if I was like, you know, lying to her and stuff. But at that moment, I decided to distract her and say, oh, like, I was just wondering, do you have like any social medias I can follow you on? Here, you can just get my number. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll get your number. I remember I ended up passing her my phone. I got her phone number and I basically ended up going to the bathroom. The reason I went to the bathroom is because if I walked straight to where my class was, she would know that I was a student and that I lied to her. So I ended up basically walking to the bathroom. I sat there and I ended up searching her name on social media because since she was a model, I automatically assumed that like, you know, 100% like I was able to like, you know, figure out who she was online. Like if people even search up like my name online, they'll find me. So my guess was since she had like some sort of platform from being a model, it would be easy to find her, which it was. As I was sitting on the toilet seat taking a dump, I realized that I found her social medias and I ended up following her. I remember after the field trip, we all ended up going back on the school bus and headed back to the school. And once we got there, I remember I ended up looking at my phone and I got the notification that she followed me back. And I took that opportunity to start messaging her and me and her started talking. I remember me and her started messaging each other back and forth. And for some reason, instantly, she ended up messaging me saying, oh, well, after you're done work, do you want to like maybe meet up? Yeah, sure. I'm down. Okay, cool. Here's my address you can pick me up at. And she ended up sending me her address. Now, I'm not gonna lie. I might have said that I was at work and not at school because I didn't want her to think that I was like, you know, a student. So I kind of like ended up continuing the white lies. But to be fair, I did not expect her to respond to me after messaging her. I remember after school finally came and I ended up basically driving straight to her place with my car. And when I got to her place, I remember I ended up shoving my backpack in the back seat because I did not want to make it noticeable that I was at school. And anyways, she ended up basically coming out of her place. She ended up coming inside my car and we ended up going on a date. This date was actually pretty cool because we ended up going for dinner and then midway through dinner, I remember her phone starts ringing back to back. And that's when I told her, you can answer it if you need to. Okay, let me just see what's going on. She ends up answering the phone and it was her work calling. She had to go for a photo shoot and she looks at me and says, oh, Baba, is it cool if you drive me somewhere real quick? Yeah, sure. And me and this girl, we end up driving to like the city and we ended up going like downtown area. And me and her, we ended up going to this like crazy photo shoot that was happening. I remember there were people running up to her and stuff, getting her prepared and making her go to a change room. And me, I didn't know where to go. So I just followed her into the change room. And as we were in there, she was complaining about work and stuff and how they always do this and tell her things last minute, which to be fair, I would be upset if that was like, you know, the case with me. And while one thing led to another, she ended up taking off her clothing and changing right in front of me in the change room, which makes sense, but in front of me was crazy. I remember one thing happened and I ended up getting bricked and we still had like another like 30 minutes before she had to get ready. But since she was fast at getting ready, we ended up making plans a bit different and we ended up doing the Devil's Tango. I gotta say, it was really insane doing it with her at her place of work, which I mean, wouldn't be the first time I did it at a workplace, but still kind of mind blowing. But we did the Devil's Tango. And then finally, she ended up having 10 minutes left to get ready, which she did. She went out there, took her photos, did her modeling, and then things kind of went bad. And the reason I say it went bad was because I ended up getting spam texted on my phone from my mom to come back home because she wanted to make sure I was okay. But this girl, after she finished her photo shoot, she ended up coming up to me saying, oh, Baba, if you want, we can go back to my place. And I was down to actually go back to her place instead of going home. And to be fair, I was an adult. I was 18, okay? Like nothing was wrong here. But I remember as we went back to my car, she opened up my trunk because she had a massive backpack that she had to pick up and take home as well. And when she opened it, she saw my social studies textbook and she saw like my backpack. And that's when she looks at me and says, Baba, what is this? It's my cousin's backpack. What? But it says your name on it. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's mine. Like, you know, wait, Baba, are you in high school? Okay, well, high school is a strong word. I'm gonna say like, you know, leaving high school, but yeah, technically I am. I remember that moment she started panicking. She starts freaking out. She's like, oh my goodness, wait, Baba, how old are you? And that's when I made sure I let her know that I was 18. I even pulled up my driver's license just to make sure that, you know, nothing illegal happened here. Luckily, she did a sigh of relief, but she was really upset that I lied to her. So I ended up just driving her home. And yeah, from then we never actually talked. And she ended up blocking me on IG, which sucks. But hey, I mean, I still did it with an IG model and technically went on a date with an Instagram model. Wow. Honestly, my life really sucks. But anyways, guys, if you guys would do a model, then fall for more embarrassing stories just like this one. Peace out, guys.